Hi, this is Miss Veldman-Tentori from the Hague University of Applied Sciences, and this lecture is for our IMC students, and I'll take you through Chapter 8 of Digital Marketing. This is, of course, from the Integrated Advertising, Promotion and Marketing Communications textbook, which you should all be very familiar with by now, by Clow and Buck. You do need this, the 7th edition, in addition to the lectures to be able to read through the information in more detail. The lectures will just highlight a few things. The workshops have given you opportunities to discuss with your lecturer and with your groups, and the assignments help you put these concepts into action, and the exam will test your knowledge of the module. So please make sure that you're reading through the textbook and that you come to the workshops with any questions that you have. So Chapter 8 is all about digital marketing, which is one of my absolute favourite areas of marketing. I've run my business zesty.com, zestte.com for 10 years now, both in Australia and the Netherlands. And how I got into digital marketing was two things. Firstly, I just find it really interesting and an exciting field that's changed a lot in the last decade that I've run my business. But secondly, because I was working with a lot of marketing clients that had really limited budgets. And digital marketing, you can do some pretty amazing stuff on not a lot of money, particularly compared to things like television and radio and that kind of thing. Keep in mind, however, digital marketing is not free. You still need a budget and you need to take people's time into account. But it's a really exciting field. A lot of our interns go and work in digital marketing and social media and that area. And this lecture will take you through a few of the main things to be aware of. So these questions are directly from the chapter in the textbook, and I suggest that you ask yourself these questions at the end of listening to this lecture, as well as reading the textbook. How everything all fits together, you'll be familiar with this pyramid from the textbook that just explains to you where everything kind of sits. So the foundation there, the brand management, the buyer behaviors, and the IMC planning process. That is the foundation. That's understanding the main information that you need to about your target market, about your brand, and about putting a plan together. Then the next level there is the advertising tools, so putting together the advertising management design, looking at traditional media. This online lecture will take you through digital marketing, and I will do a separate one about social media. Mr. Lee Phil-Shu will cover alternative marketing, and we've already touched on some of the other subjects that are higher as well, but you'll see that each has a chapter in the textbook. So please go through them. Again, if you've got any questions, your lecturers are there in the workshops, and you need to read through each of these to prepare for the exam. There's a lot of interesting case studies in the textbook. One here is getting, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Tobago on the tourist map. So this is in the Caribbean. It is a tourism destination, and it's something I have a past in. My Bachelor of Business is with a double major in marketing and tourism management. And coming from Australia, Australia is a huge tourist destination and does some amazing things online as well. Go and have a look at australia.com. They're very good at social media. They've got a huge following on Facebook, and they do some great digital campaigns. But the one in the textbook takes you through highlighting SEO, online advertising, and is well worth a look of how to actually implement digital marketing. There is an overview as well from moving from Web 1.0 to Web 4.0, which we'll talk about in a moment. E-commerce, mobile marketing, digital strategies, web advertising, and SEO, search engine optimization. We'll talk about all of those in this online lecture. So to start off with, there has been a big change with the internet in the last decade, 2 decades. So through most of our lives, we've watched this change. Web 1.0 was in the 1990s when websites first became popular, but back then it was very static content. So a company would create a website, put their information up, and it was really just like a digital brochure. Then we moved through where customers started to write and participate, and audience generated, as they say here, it led more towards two-way conversations. Same with Web 3.0. It became instant real-time communications. Data started becoming available. And where we're sitting now is Web 4.0, which is customer engagement, cloud, and web participation is crucial. Very few companies will be successful without doing digital marketing very well. The two key things I see in my work are engagement. You'll hear engagement a lot when we're talking about internet and digital marketing, and engagement essentially means two-way conversations. So instead of a company kind of shouting out one way, like a TV ad gives you the information, but you can't engage with the company through a TV ad or a newspaper ad. Twitter, Facebook, even websites, blogs, that is engagement when there's two-way conversations happening. E-commerce we covered extensively in the e-business module last semester, and you'll remember a lot of the things that we learnt there. The click-only operations to bricks and clicks means that there are different strategies. So in the Netherlands, one of my favorite companies is Coolblue. I believe they have brick and mortar stores, they call them. So that's where the bricks and clicks comes from, but the majority is online. So I've ordered quite a lot of products now from Coolblue. There's also Waycamp, Bol.com, and Amazon, I think, has just come into the Netherlands and is huge worldwide. AliExpress is popular, ordering goods in directly from China. AliExpress used to, Alibaba was a business to business where they only dealt with wholesalers, but now there's business to consumer where they're dealing directly with the customers. There's a slight difference in strategies with the B2C and the B2B. Here, the data says online sales 8% of retail activity. As I say in my classes, be careful of statistics because things change, particularly in this field, so quickly. But it gives you an idea of where things are heading. Also in your own work and your own assignments, remember to quote sources and look for up-to-date information. But what you can derive from these statistics is that there is an increasing chunk of sales that is happening online rather than people actually going to a store. And a majority of people, here they say 80% Americans and 50% from my own country of Australia, I would think that that would be even higher. Before you buy something, you check out what other people are saying about it online, what the company says about it online, particularly for high-level purchases like cars or even white goods and that type of thing. But it is a very much part of our shopping behavior now to look for information online. So digital marketing has to be part of a strategy. To make the actual sale, there is some debate. The other lecture that I will do will be about social media specifically, but whether you sell on social media or not is the subject of some debate. And here you see that it's only a very slim line of the pie chart. People will buy through search, so the organic, the results that come up in Google or another search engine, or the paid search is quite a large chunk of it there. The email marketing, so the newsletters that we often sign up for that keep customers up to date with products in between or when they're not quite ready to buy. The actual retailer site there is about 25%. But what you can get out of this data is that people buy online and they buy from different locations. They're clicking through and making the purchase from different locations. This is back to e-business again, the characteristics of a good e-commerce site and the things that people should be thinking about. So we've been through that before, but just a little recap there. If you go through that list, this is what companies need to take into account. Successful e-commerce is about having a consistent customer experience. We're not very patient when we're buying online. People tend to click away very quickly if things aren't working with the site, if you can't find the information that you need. And online and offline integration is important. So you need to talk with the same kind of brand voice. We describe it as what that can mean is just using the same colors, the same logo, and having the same products and services and prices, whether you've got an offline catalog or an online one, just making it all, as this module is called, integrated marketing. Brand engagement is fabulous with digital marketing. It brings so many opportunities for companies to actually talk directly to their customers before, during, and after the purchase as well. Some companies, even ones I've worked with, are quite scared of social media and digital communications with customers because they're worried about negative reviews and complaining customers. But I think that's actually an excellent opportunity, because people will complain about your products and services if they're not happy, whether you hear it or not. They'll complain to their neighbor, they'll complain to their friends, to their family. But online, if they complain directly to you, at least as the company, you have a chance to engage with them and have that conversation and learn from it. You can also personalize and customize their shopping experience. So one example is when I log into Amazon, I get books recommended to me that are similar to ones that I've purchased before. Now, there's a fine line between some people feel they're a bit stalked by companies. When you click on a website and then you go somewhere else on the internet and the ads kind of follow you. But on the other hand, it's also good to have things customized because they're relevant to you. So you need to understand your customer and you need to know about their behavior to offer them products and services that are relevant. The type of data that you can gather online is pretty phenomenal. Shopping cart abandonment is one that's very relevant to digital marketing, because if people come to your website and they start a purchase and they don't actually complete it, then you have that data as a company. You don't always know why. If they've had to log in at any stage, then you usually have their email address. And sometimes I've put something in my shopping cart digitally. I've decided to not buy it for whatever reason, but then I'll get, for example, an email with a special offer. Understanding why people don't make that purchase as well. So maybe there's one company recently that I was going to buy something, but they just wanted so much information from me before I even got to the checkout. I wasn't quite willing to give yet. I didn't know the company. I didn't know what was being done with my data. So providing safe checkout procedures and worrying about privacy and security for your clients, because they will be worrying about it. You need to think about these things as part of your digital marketing plan. Cyberbait is a term that's used to talk about financial and convenience and value-added incentives to try and lure or put some bait out there to bring your customers or potential customers back to your website. So you'll see different ads around the internet or ways of getting you to come to their website and buy their products. The media do this a lot lately to try and get you to click through to their news websites. One example might be, again, going back to Coolblue. Let's say, I'm not sure if they do this, but with a new customer, they might offer you a €10 off voucher. Convenience might be that if you order by midnight tonight, then you'll have it delivered tomorrow. And a value added may be that if you sign up, you'll get a free weekly blog or something. Another financial incentive that I know for sure they do offer is free shipping or free delivery and free return. So using a combination of those kind of things helps get the customer over any hesitations they might have to actually making the sale. The privacy and security issues, like I mentioned before, your customer will be thinking about them, so you need to, as a marketer, and trust is a key issue, and how much personal information. People are getting more and more confident with providing this online because, for example, banks, I've had a family member that had money taken out of their account that they didn't actually spend, which probably came from an online shopping experience. But as soon as they complain to the bank just freezes that payment or refunds that payment. AliExpress as well has privacy and security built into their systems. Mobile marketing is on the increase. 44% statistic here. Again, I think probably higher of how many people use smartphones, the ways that they use them. You need to understand your target market, and you need to understand how to get to them. Something I think is really interesting is that the biggest social media app in the Netherlands is WhatsApp, but most people like it because brands can't really reach them there, can't advertise to them there and market to them there. But I've noticed that, for example, a car insurance company is starting to use WhatsApp to communicate with their clients. So being smart about understanding that your customers and your target market use their mobiles and trying to build that into your marketing plan. These are the type of mobile marketing, so display, ads, video advertising, text messages. There's a local theatre in Delft that sends you discount codes on text messages. So getting creative to try and reach your clients. Marketing uses, sometimes there's codes that you can scan in and ways of getting your customers back to your website. Lots of different marketing strategies are outlined in the textbook, so you can go through and have a look at these yourself and read about them in more detail. I've done many plans and digital marketing plans for clients of mine where we go through and understand who they're trying to reach, what their budget is, and that will determine which of these strategies that you use. Overall though, digital marketing is all about two-way communication and involvement, and the internet is perfect for this. You can also track activity and gather a lot of really useful data and personalize your communications with your customers. You can target individual customers, and you can gather data on them so that things are customized for them, and you can engage with them. Again, just a reminder, there's different ways of doing this. You need to understand the best way for whichever company it is you're working with. Different steps to create a marketing strategy. An attitude of giving is interesting. There's something called freemium. So WordPress.com, which we used in eBusiness, is one example of this, where customers actually, organizations give away part of their goods or services for free, or some kind of trial. That gains trust. Identifying your one-word brand, I think what they mean by this is making sure that people can describe you. I wouldn't say necessarily in one word, but you need to get across your vision and know that people can find you online and understand who you are quickly, because we have very short attention spans these days. Choose the right communication channels. The next lecture on social media will talk more about the social media channels, and evaluate and adjust as you go. Content marketing is something that I teach in the third year minor, and we create videos, but content is creating text, images, video to engage with your customers or potential customers. And of course, the trend is to make it shareable so that people do your marketing for you. So for your digital marketing, you might create a piece of content that you try to distribute as a brand, but then you want other people to send that further to their friends, to their family. And you need to keep it updated and relevant. Sponsored content, bloggers are big on this, and you'll see quite a few brands using bloggers. There is potential for negative reaction, but like I've already explained, I think this is also something that the brands shouldn't shy away from. Location-based, this is a little bit scary to some people, that companies can track them via their mobile phone and send them relevant messages. For example, if you were to be walking in The Hague and there's a brand new Jamie Oliver restaurant opening, for example, let's say they had some kind of digital marketing strategy where they could send you a discount code. This is also permission-based marketing, so people just can't randomly send you messages. There's laws against that kind of thing, but you might opt in, for example, via a particular app. It's also good to know that these things are possible. Behavioral targeting, a reminder that you can gather data online, but understand your customer, understand what kind of keywords they're using, what they've done when they've visited your site, really helps you plan your digital marketing strategy. Video is on the increase. More and more organizations are using video. I think short video, no more than 30 seconds a minute, Product reviews are a good one, whether you do your own product reviews or Coolblue do some for the products that they sell, or other people are doing reviews for you, but you should be aware of that if you're a brand. Television ads were once produced just for TV and then maybe put on YouTube, but companies are now producing ads purely for the internet with their customers in mind, with these kind of goals like message recall, brand recall, general, and ad likability. Posting video ads, so where the video is makes an impact, whether you have your own YouTube channel to show them on as well. Different tactics with promoting and sharing the video. Using things like blogs and newsletters. So we all set up a website with blog posts in e-business, so you'll be familiar with that as well. Email marketing, sending out e-newsletters. Gathering people's email addresses is something companies will always try to do so they can get in touch with them later. And successful email campaigns have these kind of aspects. Web advertising can be highly effective if it's done right. I know we've talked in my classes about how many people actually click through on web ads, and it's not high, but let's say that it's even just a tiny percentage, even just 0.5% of people that click through. On the internet, you have massive reach. So you can reach massive numbers of people, and that 0.5% might be just enough to sell your products. Overall, though, there is a spend on digital marketing and different types. Like here, there's banner, classified search. The banner advertising was the first type of online advertising. You can embed widgets that kind of do things, moving video ads to get attention from your customers. The impact of advertising, we'll see it's even lower than I said. I said about 0.5, it can be 0.27, but that's enough if you're reaching, let's say, 500,000 people. Going back to the integrated marketing, things have to be integrated online and offline. Brand spiraling is where brands have print, say, posters or flyers or ads and try to send people back to their digital channels, like their websites, and have personalized URLs. So that kind of goes without saying these days. So here, jdbank.com. And rounding off with search engine optimization. What search engine optimization is, also covered in e-business, is getting your business as high as possible on the searches, usually Google, but there's other ones, either through advertising or through organic searches. So to make sure that when people are searching for your products and services, that you're going to be in, remember in an earlier chapter we talked about a vote set. So you want to make sure that when they're considering to buy something, your brand is part of their vote set that they're considering. And finally, the international implications. So I love that digital marketing opens up the whole world. I now purchase things online from China regularly, even from my original home in Australia. And brands really can market themselves worldwide. There are shipping issues though. There's also tax and customs issues. For example, if you order something from overseas and you get it sent to you in the Netherlands, you need to be aware that you may be charged a tax when that comes in. Communication as well. All of you are now fabulous at culture. You did that in e-business as well, and being IBMS students, you need to communicate in a culturally relevant way to your target market and technology. Sometimes, let's say that the web page just might not load, or there's a lot of issues. But overall, digital marketing is a fantastic way to reach potential customers. Most businesses are doing it now and should. I urge you to go back to the chapter objectives now you've listened to this lecture and see if you can answer all of these. There are some additional activities online. Let me open this here. I see that the Clow back here has a website with blogs and additional exercises that you might like to look at. But I hope that's useful. Good luck with your exam, and I look forward to seeing you in class.